Before you even step out the door, your coat is already doing the talking. It's the very first thing the world sees, before your smile, before your outfit underneath, before a single word leaves your mouth. And here's the secret. Your coat is also the fastest way to look polished, expensive, and confident, or the quickest way to look overwhelmed, bulky, and unshaped. That's the power of fashion. It gives you choices. Every detail, from the material that drapes across your shoulders to the cut that frames your body, is shaping how the world sees you, and more importantly, how you feel in your own skin. And when it's cold, many women believe elegance has to be sacrificed for comfort. But that's simply not true. The cold season is actually your greatest opportunity to show power, polish, and sophistication. Because here's the truth, style doesn't fade with age. It becomes stronger, more intentional, and more refined. That's exactly what today's video is about. We're going to uncover how coats, through their material, their design, and the way you style them, can completely transform your presence. By the end, you'll see how to use fashion to look not just warm, but elegant, expensive, and confident every single time you step out the door. So let's dive in, shall we? When you're shopping for a coat this cold season, I know you already pay attention to the material. After all, you want quality and something that lasts. But here's what most women overlook. The material doesn't just decide quality, it also decides how that coat will sit on your body and how your size will appear. Take leather, for example. You may love a glossy leather coat, and you may even style your colors perfectly for a polished look. But depending on your body, the shine of that material can change the entire impression of your shape. Let me show you what I mean. On one woman with a fuller midsection, the glossy finish reflects light and creates highlights that exaggerate width across the torso and hips. On a slimmer woman, the same leather finish works differently. Instead of adding bulk, it simply highlights clean vertical lines, so the coat looks sleek and luxe. Here's the trick. Shiny materials reflect light, which broadens. Matte fabrics absorb light, which streamlines. Matte fabrics work with you, not against you. Matte absorbs light instead of reflecting it. That means it doesn't spotlight every curve, it smooths them. Fabrics like wool, cashmere, or a double-faced wool blend drape gently, soften your outline, and create balance. They don't fight your shape, they flatter it. And this is the heart of style. It's not about squeezing yourself into trends or punishing your body. True fashion is about choosing pieces that highlight your best features and quiet the areas you'd rather not emphasize. When you dress with that in mind, every coat, every layer becomes a tool for confidence, elegance, and power. Now let's talk design. I know many of you have been told that a wrap coat is universally flattering. The truth? It isn't always kind to a fuller midsection. A wrap coat overlaps fabric right at the waist and tummy, which can create extra layers of bulk. And when you cinch it with a wide fabric belt, the focus lands exactly where you don't want it, across the stomach. Instead of elongating your torso, it can make you look blocky. But don't worry, you don't have to give it up. The fix is simple. Swap that wide fabric belt for a slim leather belt. Wear it just slightly above the tummy to suggest a waistline, smooth the front, and let a vertical line peek through underneath. Instantly, your midsection looks slimmer. On a pear shape, however, the wrap coat does wonders. It builds volume on the upper body, balances wider hips, and defines the waist beautifully, creating that hourglass effect. Other common design traps include cardigans that button low. They spread over the tummy and shorten your frame. Also, cardigans with patch pockets that often sit right across the fullest part of the apple-shaped body. They add bulk and create horizontal lines, which make the midsection look wider. Even flat pockets can interrupt vertical flow, drawing the eye outward instead of elongating. Double-breasted coats, those 2 rows of buttons add width across the stomach. Straight cuts without shoulder or waist shaping. They hang loose and boxy instead of flattering your curves. Choose designs that give you structure and vertical flow, not unnecessary width. Now, I know some of you don't always want to rely on scarves. You want style that feels more intentional. So let's talk about coats that naturally draw the eye upward. Shearling coats are perfect for this. They already have built-in drama with those big collars and cuffs. On an apple shape, that's magic, as long as the detail doesn't stop at the tummy. The secret is in how you style it. Add a bold hat or a statement necklace to pull attention to your face. Or try a slim gold chain belt over a monochrome base. The belt breaks the torso visually, suggests a waist, and ties in beautifully with jewelry or a bag chain. And here's the magic. This transforms the coat from a casual teddy into high fashion elegance. Because here's something most women don't realize. In fashion, the same piece can live in 2 completely different worlds. On its own, a teddy or shearling coat whispers comfort and weekend casual. But with intentional styling, it crosses over into high fashion territory without you buying a new coat. If you're finding these insights helpful, why not hit that like button? It tells me you're enjoying this and helps me bring you even more tips like this. Ladies, let's talk about where your coat ends, because that hemline can make or break your look. A cropped coat that ends high at the waist instantly elongates your legs and draws attention upward. It skips over the tummy and hip area, which keeps everything looking long and balanced. Perfect for petite women and apple shapes, since it pulls the focus away from the midsection and makes legs look longer. A coat that ends mid-hip can be tricky because that's often the fullest part of our bodies. If the coat stops there, it risks adding width. These can suit taller rectangles or pears, but only when styled smartly. A coat that ends right at the top of the hip is often the sweet spot. It avoids cutting across the widest part, gives shape, and still lengthens your frame. This length is flattering on most body types. Apple, rectangle, or even hourglass, because it creates balance without widening. So remember, the hemline isn't just about style, it's about how your proportions are framed. Choose wisely, and your coat will do the flattering work for you. You don't need to chase trends or buy an entirely new wardrobe. By shifting how you style what you already own, you turn comfortable into confident and casual into elegant. That's high fashion thinking, and it works at any age. But here's what most women overlook. High fashion thinking isn't reserved for the runway or special occasions. It's a mindset, one that transforms your daily life. Think about it. When you're stepping out for errands, maybe just popping to the grocery store or walking into the pharmacy, you can either rush out the door without thought, or you can choose to carry yourself like a woman who knows her worth. That small decision, to put on a well-cut coat, to slip into sleek trousers instead of baggy ones, to add a touch of lipstick, changes everything. Suddenly, you're not just out. You're making an entrance, even if the only audience is the cashier or the person who passes you in the produce aisle. And what about those days you stay at home? That's when this mindset becomes even more powerful. Dressing with intention gives you a reason to step outside, even if just for a short walk. The world gets to see you, the elegance, the energy, the visibility you deserve. You stop shrinking into the background and start reminding yourself, I am still here, and I am still radiant. This is what feminine energy is really about. It's not just clothing. It's the way you remind yourself that you are alive, visible, and worthy of attention, not because you seek it, but because you embody it. A coat that flatters your figure, a bag with structure, a hat that makes you lift your chin. All of these are more than style. They are signals to yourself, to the world, Because every time you choose to style yourself beautifully, you're sending a message. I am not invisible. I am not done. I am still vibrant, still capable, still a woman in her power. And that's the transformation. Your groceries become a runway. Your errands become opportunities. Your front door becomes a stage where you step out, even if just for a few minutes. This is what high fashion thinking looks like in daily life. So don't wait for the perfect moment, the special party, the big event. Life itself is the event. And every day you step out styled with intention, you're not just wearing clothes, you're wearing your confidence, your femininity, your strength. That's how you make ordinary days extraordinary.